Hi everyone, this is Arinya and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I am going to show you how to start up an APU on the Boeing 737-800. So let's get started. So here first I have selected my airplane as Boeing 737-800 and I have disabled the option of starts with engines running, and now I am going to just select my airport from where I am going to take off. So and I'll start it. So over here I will go over here, hold 3-4 R over here, and I'll confirm it and I'll start a new flight. So now it will take some time to load. And as you can see, it has completed loading, and this is the cockpit of Boeing 737-800 as you can see. So now in this video I am going to show you how to turn on the APU or the auxiliary power unit. So I will show it to you. So here is, as you can see, all the systems are turned off, means we are going to start this plane from cold and dark. So for that, first we need to go into the overhead panel. So the panel that you can see above over here is known as the overhead panel. So first of all, we'll turn the standby power as auto, and then we will go forward, and then we will turn on the battery. So as you can see, here is the battery switch over here. So now we'll just click on this and turn it to on, and then we'll turn off the ground power since we have to turn on APU. Now for turning on APU, we need to turn on the fuel pumps. So now, because as we know that APU does not work without fuel, so over here you can see over here there are fuel pumps here. So I'll just turn on one fuel pump instead of all, and then after that I'll go to the right side, and then I will turn on the air conditioning packs, and then there's the APU bleed switch, and then all the packs I'll turn it on, and I'll do this to auto. And then now we'll turn on the hydraulic pumps for the hydraulics and all, and then now we will go and turn on our APU. So as you know that we had turned on one fuel pump for APU. Now as you can over here see that this is the APU button, and here is a gauge. So normally in flights, whenever we start a APU, after we put this switch on start, what we do, we wait for this gauge to hit 10, then we will turn on all the engines and all. So now first APU generators also, and so first I'll put it to on, and then from on you need to hold it till start, and over here you will see the gauge slowly and gradually it will go and increase, as you can see. So this process takes bit of time. So as you can see, the gauge has started moving, it has crossed 1, and now it is waiting for, it is going towards 2. So in normally real flights it goes till 10, but in this flight simulator app it only goes till 4 and shows the APU has started. So in real flights it goes in till 10, but in this flight simulator it goes only till 4. So after it goes till 4, it will tell that APU is on. So it will go till something around 4.5 to 5. As you can see, the gauge is starting, and yes, so the APU is on, and now and after this we need to turn on the APU generators. Oh sorry. So for turning on the APU generators, you can see this is the APU panel. The bus transfer you have to keep it at auto. This switch is at auto, and then after that we need to wait for this blue light to light up so that we can turn on these APU generators. So these APU generators are for the electrical supply, and now as you can see there are no systems lighted up except the MCP. So now we have to turn on the APU generator. So we'll just put the ground power to off again, and then we'll wait for this blue light to come. And over here you can also see these are the seatbelt options over here. So whenever you get like a seatbelt notification, so the pilot just turns on the switch for the seat belts. And so now we'll see. So now the generators are already started. As you can see, these systems are lighted up, and then now we will learn how to start the engines too in this video. So I'll show you. So over here you can see these are the engine controls. So now I will put the engine, this for engine number 2, this for engine number 1. So now I will put the engine number 2 to GRD. So over here as you can see GRD, and now we will start the engine number 2. So before that you can see that, see some numbers will come here, and also before that first of all we need to turn on the fuel pumps, because one air fuel pump is turned on for APU, the rest for engines. So over here we'll turn on all the fuel pumps, and we are done turning on the fuel pumps. Now we will go and start the engines, and over here you can see the value has started increasing over here already. So now we will turn on the engine switches. So I'll just zoom out so that you can see the engine switches and as well as the display screen. So over here this is the thrust lever, this is the flap lever, and this is the speed brake, here's the parking brake. So now first I will put the this number 2 engine to idle from cutoff. So this to idle. Now as you can see over here the numbers are increasing, and slowly and gradually this engine will start. Over here you can see this is the landing gear, this is the flap indicator, this is the auto brakes, these are the radars, this is the engine stats. Over here is the MCDU display. Now here the engine number 2 is started successfully. So now we'll turn on the engine number 1. So here we'll go to the overhead panel, and then we will put this to GRD, ground, and done. And now we will turn on the engine number 1. So here in engine number 1 also you can see numbers will have been started, and now I'll put this to idle. So I'll put it. I'll just put it to idle, and done. So here it is put to idle, and you will gradually see that engine number 1 will also get started. As you can see the numbers have already started over here. So until it reaches a number of 500, after that it will start, and you can see here it's showing the start valve as open, and it is almost started till it reaches 20 over here. So the APU, now we have started the engine successfully with the help of the APU. Now I'll show you some other controls also of the Boeing 737. So over here as you can see that these are the trim wheels that keep on rotating. As you can see with the mouse pointer I can rotate, and over here we have the fire extinguishers. So if any time a fire occurs, the pilot can just pull up these levers and turn it to the right side and extinguish the fire. And over here as you can see, I'll just go front. Over here you can see these are the test for the fire ones. This is the test. We are just have to see for the green lights, and over here, oh, this is the overheat test and fault detection. And now here is the test. So as you can see it has lighted up in red, and now if we see on the pilot's panel you can see the master caution switches have come. So we'll just put it to normal, and this shows us that the fire warning system is also working nicely. So now we'll try taking off this plane. So first of all we need to release the parking brake, but before that we have to see, so we are a bit aligned with the runway, so I'll just change the view. Before that we'll turn off the APU, and we have to turn on the engine generators now, because they only provide the electricity. So as you can see all systems are working without APU. So now I'll just change the view over here, and we will just taxi to the runway. So I'll release the brakes, and then I'll just grab the control, and I'll give a bit of the throttle, and as you can see the systems are working, and I'll put the flaps to 5. So I put flaps 5, and this aircraft will slowly and gradually move. As you can see it has started moving. So in this cockpit, as you can see over here, we'll just check all the systems once again before taking off. I'll just zero the throttle. And over here down, as you can see, the flap lever is now at 5 over here. You can see this flap lever is at 5 and the parking brake is not set, it is at off. So now we are all good for takeoff. We'll just check the flight controls. So here, over here I'll just check it. So as you can see, the flight controls are working all properly, and now we are almost ready for takeoff. So as you can see, this aircraft is moving. So we'll just taxi it. The process where the aircraft is pushed by a small truck is known as pushback, and the process in which the aircraft goes on its own to the runway is known as taxi. So now I'll just provide a bit more of throttle, and then we will soon turn to the runway, and we'll put the brakes and go for full power. So I'll give a throttle. We are almost taxied to the runway. So I'll just reduce the throttle and align it with the runway. And it is almost aligned with runway 34R. So this is not properly aligned, so we will just give a bit more throttle and align it to the center. So now I think we are good for takeoff, full throttle. And now we will go to the cockpit, and then I'll just take a look at the ILS system. So over here, this is the ILS system. Here we can record the speed. So first we will turn off on these lights, and I will go full throttle. As you can see in the engine stats display, it is showing full throttle. I have released the brakes, and then I'll point the nose down, and I'll just tilt the aircraft a bit right, and slowly the speed will increase, and at 80 knots we will check, and then after that we'll rotate or we'll take off at the speed of around 170 knots, and we are good to go. The throttle is at full power, and we are going. The plane is already reached the speed of 50 knots now. 50 knots, now 60 knots, 70 knots, 80 knots, and sorry for the background noise disturbance, 90 knots, 100 knots, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. We are close to 170 knots for rotate. 150 and 158, 159, 160 and 170, 170 rotate, and we have rotated, and I'll put the gear 2 up. So as you can see, the gear is up, and now we'll just climb to altitude, and then I'll also retract the flaps, and as you can see the flaps display over here. The flaps, as you can see, this number will be going up and up. So we are at the altitude of now around 1000 feet, and I'll just reduce my position, otherwise it will going to stall. So this is how a Boeing 737 APU and after what we say the APU and engines are started. So I hope you liked my video. This was my video for today. Like the video, subscribe the channel and comment. Thank you.